driving means.
Freedom.
Exploration.
Fun.
Pride.
Flexibility.
Protection.
Ability.
Friendship.
Excitement.
Escape.
Control.
Independence.
Distracted driving means.
Danger.
Recklessness.
Irresponsible.
Chaos.
Police.
Devastation.
Injury.
Tears.
Death.
Safe driving means. Staying alert and staying alive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, Noise, and the Ad Council.
What if I could tell you when a tornado was going to strike? Of course, I can't. But shouldn't you be ready anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Chilling with us here on 88.7 KWDM The Point.
your soul. I swam across, I jumped across for you. Oh, what a thing to do. 'Cause you were all yellow. I drew a line for you. Oh, what a thing to do. And it was all yellow. Your skin, oh yeah, your skin and bones turn into something beautiful. And you know, for you I bleed myself dry. For you I bleed myself dry. It's true. Look how they shine for you. 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 Look how they shine. Look at the stars. Look how they shine for you. And all the things that you do.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Before the Buzzer Morning Show on 88.7 KWDM The Point. I'm Britton Morrow alongside Noah Seaver and Ian Nelson, and we join you on Monday, May 20th to talk a wild world of sports. This is the last Before the Buzzer show before we sign off for the summer, but we're going to end it with a bang, talk about the NBA playoffs over this weekend. 3 more teams advanced to the conference finals, and then we're going to give a little summer sports preview, talk about the biggest games and events to take place this summer.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing on our minds this Monday morning were the 2 Game 7s last night. One in the Eastern Conference with the Pacers and Knicks. The Knicks fall in that one, 130-109. It was never close. And then the nightcapper was the Timberwolves at Nuggets. Britton, you've mentioned in the past that elevation there in Denver might be kind of a home court advantage for Denver, but the Timberwolves just found, like a fifth gear in the second half, and they push through. They can make the comeback, and they win 98-90.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. It was a 1-point game going into the fourth quarter, and then you kind of expected the Nuggets to come out with more energy there, but Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray just looked gassed, and on the other side, Naz Reid was great down the stretch for the T-Wolves. They just played with a lot more energy. That number 1 defense in the NBA locked it down. Murray and Jokic both had over 30 points, but it was on inefficient shooting. Not a great way for the defending champs to go out, but I think it shows you the heart of this Minnesota team, man. They got a lot of good pieces, and I think they can go win an NBA Finals.
Yeah, and I said at the beginning of the playoffs, and I'll say it again, the Western Conference is probably the strongest in this tournament. We have seen a couple upsets already. Some may not call them upsets, but the last year's defending champ was taken out second round by a really strong Timberwolves team. We've seen a lot of strength, especially going in with a high elevation of Denver and just really being very strong with some like injuries and stuff. And then looking just at the Mavericks taking down the Thunder, who were the 1 seed. And I just really like this Mavericks team. I like the Wolves, and I think it's going to be a really strong Western Conference
Yeah, over in the East, your afternoon Game 7, that was at Madison Square Garden. Probably the best playoff atmosphere I've seen so far. Indiana's been great too, but the Pacers had to go win this one in New York if they wanted to move to the Eastern Conference Finals, and they did just that. It was never really close. I think the third quarter, the Knicks kind of pushed back. They got it to single digits, and then the Pacers just pulled away. Tyrese Halliburton, the Iowa State alum, led the way with 26.
Yeah, the Pacers shot over 70% from the field in that first half. They were just scorching. And when they came out in the second, the Knicks tried to fight back a little bit, but mostly the Pacers held them at bay. It was the story of balance for them. Tyrese Halliburton has stepped up and just been excellent. He's had a couple off games early on in this series, but the last couple of games he's been hot. And I didn't know if the Pacers had it in them to go win a game at Madison Square Garden. We know what they can do in Indiana, but, I mean, this showed the guts in this team. It was tough for the Knicks dealing with some injuries. Obviously, OG Anunoby only played 5 minutes in this game, clearly wasn't fully healthy. And then Jalen Brunson fractured his hand late in this game, but it was out of reach by that point.
Yeah, a lot of people want to say they were without Brunson make it seem like they were without him for that whole game, but really he played the majority of it. And Ian, I know that you were high on the Pacers, but my pick was the Knicks to go to the Eastern Conference and possibly even make it out against the Celtics, but that pick falls. And I think it goes back to they didn't have a lot of bench depth. Well, they did. They just didn't play these guys. And the Pacers got a lot of contributions from these guys. So your upset pick pays off in a big way.
Well, yeah, because I was looking at the stats and everything from the Game 7 game, Pacers-Knicks, and it really stood out to me that their starting five for the Pacers, everybody was at either above 20 points or just 3 points away, which I think really shows how strong the team the Pacers are, with everybody getting the ball, dishing it out, and really scoring. And then you saw a guy on the bench scoring 12, and everybody else had 5+ points. And I just really like the bench productivity from this team, and also just their starting five productivity and how that they can be interchangeable, which I think is a really strong component of this team and how they can be strong for other teams, but the Pacers are really utilizing it, and I think that's how they're going to go far in the rest of this playoffs.
And I want to give credit to a bit of an unsung hero. TJ McConnell, the backup point guard, played 24 minutes yesterday, had a plus 21, plus minus, 12.7 assists. He barely misses any shots. He's very smart with what he does. And if we want to talk about unsung heroes, I mentioned Naz Reid. Late in this game, it was like he kind of took over late and outworked the Nuggets on that side. He kept getting a bunch of offensive rebounds. He had a big putback dunk. Naz Reid off the bench, he was in contention to win Sixth Man of the Year, but, I mean, he was awesome yesterday.
Yeah, those two games were obviously heavily looked at, being Game 7s. Probably one of the best things, I think, when you get to the postseason with sports. Other ones were, Ian, you said the Mavericks take down the Thunder in that series 4-2. I think the Thunder have a lot to look forward to with a young team like this and getting the 1 seed over a team like Denver this year and just battling it out. Obviously, they couldn't put it all together, but I think that just comes from a lack of experience, and they couldn't win the games when it mattered most. That Game 6 was incredible, though. They just kind of fell apart late. And then I don't think I've watched a single Celtics game, but they move on to the Eastern Conference Finals, probably one that no one's really paying attention to.
Well, yeah, talking about the Thunder, they as you mentioned, they were a really young team with Shai Alexander and Chet Holmgren, the first-round pick last year. And I really like this Thunder team in the later years as they develop, as they grow. Shai Alexander, he's from France. He'll be playing on the French Olympic team, which I think is going to be a really strong building experience for him. And I just really think that there's a lot of growing for the Thunder, and they can be a powerhouse later in the years.
Yeah, the Thunder have probably the best young core, I think, with Chet. They have both the Jalen Williamses, and then they have SGA, who was an MVP contender. So, yeah, I think they have a lot to look forward to. And then so now that we have the Western and Eastern Conference Finals set, it's Mavericks and Timberwolves. That one will kick off Wednesday night. But right now, Tuesday night, Celtics and Pacers, that'll kick off. If you had to pick your two teams to advance to the NBA Finals.
Yeah, Noah, you kind of mentioned how nobody's really paying attention to the Celtics. It's for good reason. They're kind of, dare I say, a boring team compared to these other top contenders, like in the West, the Mavs and the T-Wolves. But at the end of the day, the Celtics are just probably the best team on paper left and probably in the whole league. So I'm going to say they get by the Pacers with ease. I'm going to be honest. I think it'll only go like 5, maybe 6. But I got the Celtics advancing to the NBA Finals. And then Mavs, T-Wolves, I think will be back and forth. I think it might go 7 games. Give me the Mavs. Bit of an upset. It's hard going against the Timberwolves after they just took down the defending champs. But I'll say it's going to be a Mavs-Celtics Finals, and that'll be a tough one to predict, but I think the Celtics get it done.
Yeah, and just call me Mr. Upset. I'm going Pacers over the Celtics. The Pacers, they show that they can win in Madison Square Garden, which is one of the highest high-energy, best home court stadium for teams in the NBA. And now they're going into Boston, which is another hard court to play in as an away team. But I think the Pacers are a strong enough team. They have enough bench development. They have a great starting 5 with high enough productivity. I really like the Pacers in that one. And then I'm going to take the Timberwolves. I just really like how they took out the defending champ. And so give me the Wolves and Pacers in the championship series.
Who you got winning the finals?
That one's going to be hard to pick. I'll probably say the Timberwolves. I really like how they've been playing this season, and they just have been really strong throughout the regular season and now in the playoffs. So give me the Wolves to win it all.
Yeah, I think the Timberwolves taking down the defending champs definitely shows me that they're built for moments like these. And I mentioned before we got on air that the Pacers had made the in-season tournament championship to that final one. They fell to the Lakers, but I think doing that early on, no one was really paying attention, but I think it paid off because they can go deep in like a tournament-style play. And now you have 7 games, you got to win 4. So I think they definitely can do it. I think it's going to be difficult for sure, but I wouldn't be surprised. They can easily surprise the Boston Celtics in this series. And I'll take the Celtics and Timberwolves, and give me Timberwolves in 5.
Yeah, just because the Celtics have been kind of going under the radar in this playoffs doesn't mean they haven't been excellent. They beat the Heat in 5. That was without Jimmy Butler. And then they beat the Cavs in 5 with ease. And keep in mind, these other series are going late, Game 7s, Game 6s. The Celtics have had so much time to rest. And the Pacers played a Game 7 in New York yesterday. And now already tomorrow they're going to have to play in Boston. I think Game 1 the Celtics might blow them out. But then once they go back to Indy, I expect the Pacers maybe to win a game or 2. But, man, Celtics in 6.
Yeah, I think that you bring up a good point about the rest, but they also haven't had to play any tough games yet, like a Game 6 or a Game 7. And I think it's important for teams in the playoffs to have those crucial games at points so they know what it feels like to be in a high-pressure situation. But they have really good veterans on their team, so I think they'll know how to handle it if and when that comes in the playoffs.
Yeah, and one thing I'd like to see from the Timberwolves, the Pacers, and the Mavericks, I want to see them all being just down to earth, because for all these teams, the Timberwolves just knocked out the defending champ. Mavericks beat out a 1 seed, and the Pacers, that's a 6 seed, beat out the 2 seed. So they might be a little cocky, and I want to see these teams being down to earth and level-headed and being ready for the next challenge, not be like, oh, we just beat these teams, we're going to win it all. Because especially for the Pacers, going against a really strong Celtics team in Boston for the first game, if you come in any cockiness, the Celtics are really good at just knocking that smile off your face and will put the ball into the net. So this Pacers team has to be level-headed, and they have to go balls to the wall that entire first-round game to show that even in Boston, just like in Madison Square Garden, that they can fight.
So now let's move on and talk about this summer. We're just going to go around the horn, sharing some of our favorite events to take place, the ones we'll be keeping an eye on. All started off with the Copa America, which is a men's soccer tournament that kicks off on June 20th. This is typically a tournament that only contains South American teams, so Argentina, the reigning world champions, and Brazil. But this year it's also going to include North American teams, so the United States, Canada, and Mexico, and more will all be competing in this tournament. It's going to be held in the United States, with the final being played in Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, Florida. But the United States is in a group with Panama, Bolivia, and Uruguay. This is going to be a great competition. I know you guys aren't huge into soccer, but there's a lot of great teams. Uruguay's great. Obviously, I mentioned Brazil, Argentina. It's going to be a big opportunity for the U.S. to prove it on their home soil. And they are playing July 1st against Uruguay in Arrowhead Stadium. I will be in attendance. I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, we know you love your footy here, Britton. So I have kind of two things here, and it's interesting, one of them, but one I think is a bit underrated. I don't know what to go with first. I'll go with the local thing first so we can get that out the way. It's horse racing, and they got this. Listen in. Everyone just losing their mind here right now. Listen in. At Prairie Meadows.
What the heck is going on right now?
No, it's great entertainment. They have these. They started May 10th, and it's free to go watch these horses race. They got thoroughbreds, and they have quarter horse racing too, and it goes all the way until September 28th. It's I've been a couple times. It's probably something that's not looked at a lot, but it's entertaining for sure on a weekend in the summer when you got nothing else going on. You can go sit at the track and watch these horses race. It's good entertainment. I got one other thing here, and it's the College Baseball World Series. That tournament starts May 31st, and then they get to Omaha June 14th, and that goes till the 21st. Last year, I know there was a lot of talk with LSU and Wake Forest being in it. That was probably the most college baseball I've ever watched. I think it's good how all the teams travel everywhere, and then once they get to Omaha, seeing them come out like that. And it's just good baseball, and I've never get over the sound of the ball going off those metal bats. It's incredible, and there's some really good talent in college baseball.
First off, I'd like to say you probably should have started with baseball. Nobody, I would say there's not many horse racing fans except for the Kentucky Derby.
Hey, I don't know. A lot of people be going to Prairie Meadows. I can't say that I'm one of them, but no, I'm not going to hate on that pick.
Now, it's my turn. One of the biggest things for for sports in general is the Olympics this summer, Paris 2024. And what I'd like to talk about is the trend of basketball. It's the U.S. basketball team, and it's probably one of the strongest U.S. Olympic teams for basketball in recent history. I'm just going to read off some of the lineup. We got Bam Adebayo, Devin Booker, Steph Curry, Anthony Davis, Kevin Durant, Anthony Edwards, Joel Embiid, Tyrese Halliburton, Drew Holiday, LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, and Jason Tatum. I think this is going to be a really strong team, and you have some young guys from other teams in the NBA who are going to be playing for other country Olympic teams, but I really like the U.S. Olympic roster right now for basketball. And just in general, the Olympics, it's going to be a really fun year. There's a lot of sports happening that I'm really excited for. And you mentioned Copa Americana, which is going to be played in Kansas City. I'm wondering how some of those teams are going to be prepared for the Olympic events, the Olympic soccer event for later, because I believe they start July something, because that's when they normally do for the Olympics. So I'm just really excited for the Olympics this year.
Yeah, there's obviously both men's and women's soccer tournament. The men's side, it's kind of interesting. I think teams, there's also the Euros happening earlier in the summer between all European teams. I think between the Euros and the Copa America, those are the bigger tournaments. So when teams get to the Olympics, it's usually they're playing some of their second teams. The Olympics isn't as big of a tournament on the men's side as it is on the women's side. So let's talk about that a little bit. This kicks off on July 25th, the Women's Olympics. The United States women's national team, obviously one of the best teams in the world. They're in a group with Zambia, Germany, and Australia. And after that World Cup disappointment last summer, losing in the round of 16, they brought in new head coach Emma Hayes and have been great ever since then, winning the Nations League over Brazil. So I'm looking for the U.S. women's national team to maybe bring home a gold medal as for that U.S. men's basketball team.
Yeah, I think it's not something that I pay attention to a lot, but when they get out on the pitch and start scoring a bunch of goals, it's hard not to kind of turn your head and watch a little bit. And Ian, you bring up, this is probably the most, summer basketball I'm going to watch this year, with them being in Paris and having a great lineup like that. There's no doubt in my mind that they can go win gold. I think they're going to blow out every team. There's just no competition there with those guys.
Now, there is one sport I'm excited for. I'm probably going to get flamed for this. Rugby sevens, sign me up. I really like rugby. I really think it's a fun thing to watch. All these guys without pads absolutely trucking each other. And it's just getting me really excited for 2028 in LA for the flag football. I'm just really ready for these football-type sports.
Going a lot of different directions there. I thought you were going maybe the tennis route with Wimbledon or something like that, but you go rugby. And no, I think I've sat in and watched some rugby before. It's definitely something that I'm still learning about. But just hearing them guys hit each other like that and connecting, going into each other, it's something different. You got to be crazy to go out there with no protection and play like that for a long time. But yeah, there's a lot of good things this summer definitely to look forward to in sports.
Yeah, and obviously we have to mention the NBA finals and the conference finals are going to keep advancing throughout the rest of May and into June. So yeah, keep an eye out on that. And then we're going to approach football season towards the end of this summer. So you really got everything. MLB will be going throughout. That's usually the sport of the summer, MLB baseball. So yeah, there's so much to watch.
Yeah, and I think at the high school level, there's soccer's winding down, and then you have baseball and softball too. So the Tigers, they kick off sub-state semifinals tonight against Des Moines East over at Valley Stadium.
Hey, one more bold prediction about the Olympics. Look out for the France national team. Victor Wembanyama defeats the U.S.
Yeah, that guy is different for sure. I think he's going to have a long career in the NBA. He's alien-like.
Yeah, so that's about it for us.
Yeah, so that'll do it today on the Before the Buzzer morning show on 88.7 KWDM The Point. I'm Britton Mara alongside Noah Seaver and Ian Nelson, and this is the last show. We will be signing off for the summer.
Yeah, make sure to tune in for the rest of the morning shows this week for the summer sign-off tour.
Yeah, I think we'll have great for sure.
See ya, everybody.
I only talk to God when I need a favor. And I